Jump in and do this and start to let everybody in. Got a good showing so far. All right, everybody jumping in the room. Love this. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining. Here we go. I love seeing all of the cameras popping in, all of the friends that we have within this community. So great to have everybody here. Roll call. We've got Bryce from Closebot, the superstar, the man himself. So thrilled to have you with us today. We're going to be walking through why Closebot is what it is and the incredible technology that's behind that, and some seriously cool stuff over there with Closebot. And we're going to talk about how these two systems work together. So Bryce is going to head us up this morning. Kyle, of course, our head of operations here at White Label Suite, here holding down the fort. Thank you, sir. We've got Bill and Clay and Grant and Josimara and Stacy. We've got a whole bunch of note takers, of course. We've got Chris Birch is in the room, Dave Kelly. We've got Kim Blasco. Great to see you, Kim. Manolo's here. Peter's here. Mark is here. Great to have you here. Robert and Rory. Stacy, of course, the legendary Stacy. Wayne's in the room, and a whole bunch more people jumping in even as we speak. Guys, we've got a really cool session for you. This is about taking your leads even further and doing incredible things with them. So one of the things that kind of blew people away last year was when AI and conversational AI really kicked in, and we launched what we call the 4-bot system, which a whole bunch of people have gone on to make a ton of cash with, and every business is screaming out for them. What it means is leads coming into a CRM, we're using high level predominantly, and then taking that lead and engaging with them using AI, and then funneling them through into confirmed, qualified, booked appointments. And people are going nuts crazy for that system in its entirety. Now, when we launched, we absolutely partnered up and bodied up with Bryce and Laura and the team from Closebot because, simply put, they're the best in the business. There's nobody that does what they do as well as they do it. Their technology is phenomenal. The brain power behind Closebot is Bryce himself. And so when we partnered up, it was absolutely insane. Now, what GHL has done is try and catch up over the time. And of course, we love GHL. They pour a whole bunch of money into their tech and
Yeah.
research and all that kind of stuff. But it's like a generalist and a specialist. When you want the best, you go to the specialist. And Bryce's team has taken Closebot even further, and continues to push the envelope in terms of AI and in terms of conversation, in terms of usability.
I'm on my
Um,
way.
and all of that said,
Whoa.
I'm just going to mute you, Bill, there. Sorry for that. So all of that said is for one reason and one reason only. And that reason is to help make sales. That is it. That's what we're here for. We're here to help make sales. We're here so that you have something to sell and demonstrate to your clients and help them make sales. So, Bryce, we're going to jump into some demos. But dude, let's just van for 2 seconds as people are coming in. You've had an amazing year, man. Like the releases and the updates and the version 2 of Closebot, the explosion of the user base for you. Like, this has been pretty insane.
Yeah, it's been absolutely wild. For those of you guys who are on social, which for marketing agencies is pretty much everyone, you probably heard about us acquiring Zappichat. So that was a big thing on top of launching V2. Launching V2
The
is
same
something I've been
week.
talking about for 2 years. So that finally coming through, massive. I think people started to think like, yeah, right, Bryce, V2 doesn't actually exist, but it's here now.
V standing for vapor, but no, it didn't. It was real, and like you've changed the industry when you brought it through. But you did that acquisition mid turn. We did training on Zappichat. We actually said, hey, is this whole 4-bot thing, is the AI thing that White Label Suite does, can that work with Zappichat? And we spent ages. It took me, guys, just for context, it took me 10 seconds to set, 10 minutes to set up Closebot the first time I ever used it, and it took me 3-4 days to try and get Zappichat to do the same thing. But so we loved Closebot. But then buying that, acquiring Zappichat and bringing everybody over there, that was a huge deal in the space because it literally meant the two biggest players in this space came together, and all of those users coming across, man. Like it must have been a buzz inside of Closebot.
Yeah. And if we have any people that use Zappy before, put a one in there in the chat. I just want to see like we love you guys. There were no sides in this. Like things happen in software and this sort of thing happens all the time. You guys didn't pick a wrong side. Um, we
It's funny. It's like
love
it's
to
like
have you at Closebot now.
if you're picking sides, you've actually got like now you've got the best of both, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, we've adopted Zappichat into our family as of June 9th this year. You're
Mm.
part of the family with Closebot. So happy to have everyone.
So, guys, just as we
Um,
kick off, and again, I'm going to, I'm sorry, man, I love having you
yeah.
on. I'm going to keep kind of interrupting you. So when we first met, like, guys, I just want to give you a little bit of context here and why I hold this man in such high regard. You did your AI training. You actually fully trained on AI and were working with Boeing at one stage, yeah?
Yeah. This was 8 years ago. Boeing's prototype AI department brought me in because I had a little bit of experience with AI, but they brought me in because I was super obsessed with foreign language learning. So natural language processing, this was before the time of AI. Um, and they wanted to bring me in for that foreign language knowledge that I had. And then they
And
continued to train me up on AI.
and at what point did you say to yourself, okay, cool, this stuff is amazing. I'm going to go out on my own.
Well, it was more of an I need to go out on my own before I lose my mind working at big corporate. So I left Boeing to do sales with Laura in real estate. And then I was like, sales also sucks. How can I get out of that? And so, some of you guys get lost in the weeds doing automations when you should be selling. That was me. I was doing the
Right.
same thing. Laura was probably pissed because every time she was closing deals, I was talking about this new tool, this new widget I made to automate these sales that I didn't have.
Right. It sounds honestly, it sounds like Johan and I. Like I'm just happy buried in my cave, building my automations, and he's out there talking to people and making the economics turn
Making the
around.
actual money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And funding that development. Super cool. So what we've seen with Closebot, and you were a pioneer coming into the space. And again, everybody's scrambling to catch up. I loved your post last year, just purely as a founder guy. So you can feel like I have so much love for Bryce and Laura. Like we're friends, actual friends, and
Likewise.
these guys are
Yeah.
amazing. But you made a post last year, which I thought was really interesting. And again, guys, I hand on heart, say it from the top of the mountain. Love GHL. Everything they're doing is just incredible. But you made a post last year where you said, as I think V2 was coming out, comments like GHL were scrambling to catch up. They were like, we're releasing the chat stuff inside of high level, and you were like, yeah, cool. We're already like 10 months ahead of you in terms of what we're doing next. So in terms of tech, like, and I saw again a post yesterday. One of the biggest questions that our team here, our crew are going to always ask is why should we go with Closebot to have that kind of conversational AI with prospects and customers versus GHL's own inbuilt chatbot that they've been working on for a little while. Like what would you say is the major differences between the two platforms?
Um, we're releasing a 3-part blog series
Yep.
to explain this because we get it a lot. It comes down to price because that's what people usually think of first, even though it shouldn't be. Quality and feature innovation. Our price is cheaper, much cheaper if you have if you have more than 4 accounts that you're doing this for. That's where kind of the break even point is. So go check out our blog. The first one's on price. Second, on quality, we did a side by side comparison of the two, something we've been meaning to do for a long time, but we finally did that. And then we loaded both into ChatGPT for ChatGPT to give its opinions. And it explains all the reasons why we were the preferred solution. And that blog also shows high level released some stats recently about how many conversational appointments they've booked just in a present at a presentation that we were both at, and Closebot has booked 3.5 times more appointments on high level calendars than high level themselves with their native conversational AI. So we're getting so many more reps in. We've been at it for a lot longer. And then the last one will be on their feature request board. I went through all the features for conversational AI and went through all the ones that Closebot already does. And some of the top requested features on their feature board are things we've done for over 2 years. So there's just the spread is widening. We have the data. We have the stuff, guys.
Yeah. It's always hard. Like I can sense the hesitation. It's always hard when somebody asks you to compete to compare against a competitor, right? So people do that with us all the time, and you have to kind of toe that line between. I don't want to bag them out because I want to stay professional, but I also want to make sure that you guys know very, very clearly that we are taking that top spot very easily. And so, just purely from my own personal opinion, when we so I refer to it as the generalist and the specialist, right? So when you've got like a pain, something, whatever, you go to the general, you go to the GP, you go to the doctor and you say something hurts. And then they look and they say, okay, cool, there's a trouble here. I'm going to send you to a specialist. And they do that because that one person has dedicated their whole life to solving that same exact problem in that exact area. And I tell you what, when people have got, life-threatening stuff, you want the specialist. You want the best in the business. And Closebot is that specialist when it comes to conversational AI. And guys, again, just give you a little personal example. When we started comparing the two systems, we literally ran the same request to a GHL chatbot and Closebot's chatbot. And something like it was something along the lines of I've got the whole transcript there somewhere, but it was something along the lines of, "Hey, so does White Label Suite actually handle this kind of lead?" And GHL's chatbot came back and said, "Yes, we do." Great, cool. Closebot's chatbot came back and said, "Yes, we do," which allows you to do this, this, and this, and actually helps with this area. Is that of interest to you? Now, just think about the way that natural human conversation works and the difference experience that that person who's come to buy something from you has, right? Where you can get a one-dimensional answer, it's great. It's good. AI doing my job for me. It's amazing. But when you can get an AI to do that answer that has genuine connection with the person on the other end of that chat, you go a lot further to booking more appointments and making more sales. And for me, it was just a flat quality of response. So it was like one and another. It was an easy thing to see. And we've literally never been disappointed with that decision moving forward. And I think that's when we're talking about creating an opportunity for everybody here on this call to generate leads and to show their business, their clients, and get more sales from people. We want you guys to have the best of the best. And again, that's why we partner up so well with Bryce. So now, Bryce, when we released what we called contact aware conversations, this is what blew people away. All right. So guys, I want to talk about this and then we're going to dive into some demos and Bryce is going to steer us through some of the really, really cool stuff in the background of Closebot. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely mind-blowing and it's so easy to set up. But let's start from the start. So within White Label Suite, what we know is that we can target an ideal lead, okay, target a prospect by searching. You say, okay, I'm looking for this kind of person, I'm looking for this kind of person. But what you can then do with AI takes our system from I guess again a static lead up to a researched in-depth summary using AI. So I'll show you that. And then it's taking that information about the prospect over into a CRM and allowing a conversation to happen where the real like mind-blowing stuff happens. Okay. So I'm going to show you. I'll do this super quick because you guys have seen White Label Suite, or if you haven't, wow, what are you doing? I'm thrilled you're here, but get over and have a look at White Label Suite. So in White Label Suite, let me do this real quick. So in White Label Suite, we have the opportunity to go and search for somebody, right? So cool, let's go and find a CEO of a construction company, or let's go and find all the business coaches in a particular area, or all of these things. Even let's go and find our influencers and do that kind of stuff. So we've got all the different search areas here, but once we have those searches in place and the AI can do some extra things, that's when the really cool stuff happens. So for example, I've got a local search here where we looked for salons for Mark, who's on the call, I think. So we've got a salon here and we can do something cool like this. We can come in and go, create a summary for me and just tell me about this business, who they are, how long they've been around, just find out a little bit more info about them. So we can ask AI to go and take this information, keep it in context with what we do as a business, understand what they do as a business, and grab all of that information and keep it in one place. So we'll let AI do that. Now, again, of course, you can do this at scale. And Bryce, just for your information, we switched from OpenAI to Gemini a couple of weeks ago because the
You did.
responses Yeah, the responses are so much better, and we've got live web chat browsing and stuff, which is huge. So,
Well, it might switch back now with GPT-5. Have you
well, you
tested
never
that
know.
yet?
You never know. Like, I think it depends whether OpenAI allow the open web search on there via their API, which is one of their big things that we wanted to do. So here's a little summary, right? Very super quick. And again, remember, we're doing this at scale. I'm going, these 100 businesses go and do this for me. AI says, sure, yes, sir, got it done. Now, all of this information with one click goes across into high level and it saves it in a custom field, right? So over in high level now, and actually I can pull up, let me see if I've got an example here of this. So over in high level, let me grab one of our outbound mailing databases, right? So we're running this all the time ourselves, okay? So over in high level, in a contact, in a custom field, now we will have, let me just grab anybody here. We'll have summary information and icebreakers that AI have written inside of the CRM. Okay, so all of that AI information just goes click and it's all here in my database. Now, again, so we did that at a company level. We said, hey, go and summarize this business. Okay. We can also do that at a people level, which, again, just creates incredible data behind the scenes. So at a people search level, here's CEOs of construction companies. And again, if I wanted to grab a summary of that person, like the amount of information that we get on that person is just insane. Couple of weeks ago, Bryce, one of the things that we released here inside of White Label Suite was the ability. So we had all of these kind of boxes of AI prompts that you could run. So we had a summary. We could find people just like this one using our similar. We could create DMs. We could write subject lines and emails. But we created this one, which is custom. And it creates unlimited custom fields. So I can have unlimited custom prompts that each have their own storage box inside of high level when it goes across. So, Walt, you're talking garbage. What are you talking about? Let me show you what I'm talking about. For example, if I'm an SEO agency, right, I can create a custom prompt for doing an SEO analysis. So I can come in here, and actually I think I've saved it in the wrong box, but I've got an SEO analysis that I can run on this business, and all of that SEO information about their backlinks and about their tags and about their schema and all the stuff that SEO people talk, which is wizardry to me, just comes across into high level. And now what I'm going to show you guys next is because that information exists, when Closebot engages, all of this detail is known. I'm going to show you what I mean by that because this is the mind-blowing bit. And this is why the two systems work so well together. Because now imagine that I run just in that example, I run an SEO analysis on a company and I pop them over a DM and they engage with my chatbot on my site. The chatbot knows what's been sent to them, can reference that report, and understands who the business is and who they're talking to. So, Stacey, give me 1 second. I'll come back and I'll answer your question in just a sec. But I want to show you what happens when this is in play, you guys. Right? So, again, let me come face to face and then I'll share a 90-second clip and I'll show you the result of what we're talking about. So, when you can find your ideal lead and then you can get AI to know who that person is, when your AI bot engages, the AI bot knows who it's talking to. And the difference in conversation is freaking mind blowing, right? So I want to show you that difference in conversation. This is an example. So it's a 90-second clip of an opt-in on a website, right? So guys, if you're running marketing in any way, you know that you reach out to somebody and they say, sure, send me your free report, or sure, let me, download your whatever. Like you're getting a lead. You're getting a lead. So in this example, we've got somebody who's saying, yeah, I send me a coupon. I'm happy to give, I want my coupon. Watch what happens next. So I'm going to share my screen right here and I'm going to play you this 90-second clip. And this is using Closebot and White Label Suite with those examples. So let me just make sure I'm sharing the video here and bring this up. Where is my video? Let me just grab it here and then Zoom will be able to see it. All right, so I'm going to share this and hopefully you guys will be able to see. Let's go. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Is that coming through, Bryce?
Hmm.
All right, cool. So this is somebody who came now, this person could have come from anywhere, could have come from a Facebook ad, could have come from a direct message, could have come from anywhere, but came to the site and opted in. And this is where I want to show you this contact aware conversation, all right? So let's have a look at what happens next. Yes, I want my free coupon. Let's go. And it's going to send it via SMS. All right, so Jody has just opted in. She's just come to our site, or she's answered a Facebook ad, or she's done something like that. She's in our system, and the AI knows about her. So let's go and check my phone. I'm just going to connect to my phone here and make sure we get the messaging here. All right, so here's our message to Jody. Thanks for registering. Here's your coupon. Now, I want to prove that the bot AI knows who it's talking to. So I'm just going to kind of skip to a thread back and forth. I'm just going to straight ask, what do you know about me already? So let's ask, what do you know about me? And let's see if the AI now has that information. And boom, you're associated with Jody Michael and Associates, a firm known for its comprehensive approach to professional coaching, including, I mean, how incredible is that? So again, no client's going to ask, how do you know about me? But what they might ask is something like this. How can your system help me specifically? Now, because the AI knows, watch what happens now. Can be particularly beneficial in a number of ways. And boom, check out the incredible information that it's been able to create because it knows who it's talking to. I'll just do one more because I love this. What kind of leads should I look for? Here we go. The AI knows who it's talking to. Jody came to our website from any place, and the AI knows who it's dealing with. How incredible is it for your system to be able to have contact aware conversations? When it knows who it's talking to from that first contact, the AI can do so much better job at qualifying, at making sure that that's answering the questions in context to help you make sales. All right. So that is White Label Suite and Closebot working together. So we showed how White Label Suite can do all of that research. We showed where it goes into high level, right? So it just one click goes straight across into the CRM database. And then what makes that whole thing work is over in Closebot, if you look at the actual, I guess, mechanics behind it, let me just jump into here. When you look at the mechanics behind it, actually, wrong setting screen. Let me open that one up. What makes that work is Closebot referencing that information in its conversation. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. So Bryce is going to dive deep into this, but here in the job information area, use the information from, and it's going to have that field in there, okay? And not sure why that's showing as unknown right now. 10 seconds ago it was not. But this comes in and actually, let me publish it. That might actually help. Over here in our job information, you've got use the information from, and that is a custom field, which is your AI summary. Bryce, you can help me out with why that shows unknown right now when it didn't 10 seconds ago. AI summary, AI intro, AI knowledge, AI anything that's come across from that system, and the system. Oh, there you go. So now it's starting to populate. The system knows what those fields are and can reference that information. So that whole conversation, when the bot knew who it was talking to, is because we have the details on the bot. All right, we have the details on the customer. So guys, what I want to do is introduce Bryce to you. And I'm sorry, man, I've taken a lot of your time already. But
No, you
the
did great.
reason the reason we align so well with Bryce and Laura and the team over at Closebot is because we take what we do with White Label Suite and we multiply it by 100 times so that when you present to your client, they go, whoa, I need this. And that's designed to help you make sales. So, Bryce, I'd love for you to steer us through the mechanics of how that works and what makes Closebot tick. And then, guys, of course, we've got a link where you can go and get a special deal from Closebot. And that workflow that Bryce and I actually built together, Bryce has got a link there. You can have that as part of your, being with us. So you get the benefit of the founder of Closebot and the founder of White Label Suite. We literally designed that workflow together on a Zoom call. You guys can have it. It's yours, right? So we'll share that link with you super soon. But Bryce, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, while I'm doing this, why don't you go into your account,
Yep.
grab the share link from your account.
Yep.
You can drop it in the chat. And
Can do.
then That's kind of like a snapshot link. You guys click that, it'll download that into your account. Super easy.
Done. Done and
Hey,
done.
let me get set up. Hold on. So it's important to have White Label Suite start this because Closebot doesn't start the conversations. Closebot is there to engage once you have a message come in and you need to automatically qualify the lead, route them to different calendars, book on different calendars, do different things. It handles all of that. White Label Suite doesn't do that. We don't do what White Label Suite does. So it really is nice because we meet at the same point and both do our separate stuff. He showed you how it pulls in information. Closebot then has all that information when it's going to have a conversation. But Closebot is going to be where you build the script on how you want to qualify these leads and when you want it to be allowed to book appointments and maybe not allowed to book appointments and disqualify leads instead. So in here, I'll give you a quick little tour of things, starting with this agent screen. We have our Walt persona here. We've broken agents into two parts, just like you guys that maybe have a job that needs done and you have a person you hire to do the job. We see AI as going all the way to where people are. And as people, we have people and we have jobs. So we've built it the same way. That's why we have custom personas like Walt who can do jobs like the White Label Suite 20 free lead system that we just looked at. This is a specific job, and Walt is a person doing that job. If you have high level, it's super easy to connect. All you have to do is come into sources. You click to add a new source, high level, connect, and then a screen will pop up where you select the sub account you want to connect to, and done, you're connected. Once you connect, you just assign which job you want to handle that source. So here I have our high level account 123 Main Street, and it's going to be the one responding as long as it doesn't have this tag and it's on any of our conversation channels. That includes email, chat widget, live chat, WhatsApp, custom providers like SendBlue, MyCRM Sim, like everything. When a message comes in, we automatically reply to it. Now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, what about the first message?" Well, that's where tools like White Label Suite come in.
Mhm.
They curate that first message. They're sending that first message that gets a reply, but then it's Closebot that takes it from there. So we have this set up. So it's going to be responding on any of our channels. And then we can go in here and see what this job does. This is like the marriage between workflows and agents. This is the future. And this is why you see a lot of systems building flow builders for agents now. It's really nice to have guardrails to allow your agent to do things only at certain times. Otherwise, I mean, I saw a couple times in the chat people saying that the high level um, agent was booking appointments even when it was not supposed to. That does not happen with this. We have the start of the conversation. Anytime a conversation starts, it starts right here. And then we're building the script for the job with these drag and drop components. So right at the start, we're using AI to welcome them. It's supposed to acknowledge the business and say something novel about how you can help their business. It's going to send this message right when it first receives a message. And then it's going to go into qualifying this person, getting their name, email, phone number, and it automatically skips any fields that you already have. So let's say you have a form fill and they're getting a text from you and you already have some of this information, it'll skip it. But if they come in on web chat and you don't have this information, it'll conversationally get that for you. And it's going to get it in multiple pieces at the same time. So instead of being like, hey, what's your name? Cool. Thanks, Rory. Can I get your email? Cool. Thanks for your email. Can I get your phone number? The AI decides the best way to do all of them at the same time. And then we're going to get the value of a lead for them, the types of leads that they work on, and then just have a conversation. At any time, though, if they want to book an appointment, we have these sub jobs. So if we ever detect they just want to buy, this is set up here so that you can send them a link to buy and then have a conversation. If they want to book an appointment, it hops down here and we'll book an appointment with them. So you get to decide the exact lead journey you want to allow, and then Closebot handles it, including things like follow-ups. If you want to follow up after 5 minutes of no reply, and then maybe after one day of no reply. You guys know that follow-ups are important. People fall off, they forget. And let's say you want to enable smart follow-ups. So if they say something like, actually, it's a bad time for me, I'm on family vacation this week, and you want the AI to be able to follow up with them next week automatically, you can do it here. So that's a lot to unpack. Walt, I look at this system every day. What have I glossed over that I should spend more time on?
Yeah, so I think actually the release of V2, you brought in some amazing things that make this system act in very specific ways. And the first of that is personas. So the way that you described it was great. And I think like to be able to have multiple personas in an AI system to handle different conversations is incredible. So just even starting with personas, and guys, I want to paint you the picture, right? So you want to be able to do this for your clients because that's what we're all here for. We're here to grow businesses and agencies, etc. So even a simple task like I'm a customer service agent and I'm a sales agent, the conversation will be different, right? So using the personas within Closebot, you can now have those conversations take very different paths based on the persona. So somebody like, and again, think of your clients. You're Rory. I'm going to pick on you for example. You're working with high-end coffee machine companies that are supplying franchise coffee industries, right? So if a sales inquiry comes in, you want that AI to be very specific about the journey that it takes people through, talking to them about their needs and their requirements and how many installations that, all of the sales questions that are going to help close that deal. Whereas somebody who's already a client, you want the AI to handle that conversation very differently. You want to have a different tone of voice. You want to have a different way of responding, right? And you want to have different objectives. Get somebody out on site, whatever that might be. So just even the starting point within Closebot of having the ability to have multiple personas deal with an inbound conversation is mind blowing, right? And again, any limit on personas, Bryce? Is there any limit of personas that you can build?
No.
Amazing. So you could have different tone of voice salespeople. Just again, let's get advanced. You find somebody comes in and is a little bit more aggressive. You want to switch to the more aggressive sales persona versus somebody that is a little bit more relaxed in the way they're talking. You want to ease it back a little bit. You can build that with your personas, you guys. Right? So even starting point number one, that's incredible. Next, when we look at the workflow builder, it's easy to see the really pretty picture of the workflow builder. Do you want to just talk through the personas a little bit, mate?
Yeah, sure. When you go into create a persona, any type of settings that you feel like shape the voice of this thing, those are in the persona. So if I wanted to create, let's keep picking on Rory.
He can handle it. He's
This one's
amazing.
Rory. I mean, let's drop a picture in here. Oh, I'm getting this spinning wheel loading.
The spinning wheel of Zoom screen share.
Let's
I had
drop
I had
this
GHL give
picture.
me a spinning wheel for about 3 minutes yesterday on a webinar. I had to
There we go. We got
walk
Rory
it
in
through.
there.
There you
I
go.
didn't warn you, Rory. I got a similar one for Walt, so you'll fit right in on that. I love it. Um, any clarifying instructions on how Rory typically responds to things would go in here. We start you out with a default, and maybe Rory, he's really, I mean, you look like a friendly guy, but you look like a pretty smart dude. Let's go concise, friendly, and intelligent is more of how I feel you speak. And then maybe for Rory, I like Gemini. But if Gemini is acting up, we'll fall back to OpenAI. And I mean, Anthropic, why not? Let's just load up the fallbacks. Here's another cool thing with this.
This is
If one
massive,
of these
actually.
providers goes down, you don't care. You're still in business.
Chance of all three of them going down means that the world is ending. So,
The
you
world
think
has
that it,
ended.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
If we are doing a lot of these conversations over text, you might want to delay this a little bit because we'll typically respond in like 5 to 8 seconds, um, faster sometimes, I guess. And if you want to allow some typos, like the percentage of time you want typos, how often you want large messages broken up into smaller ones, these are some advanced settings we give you. And then we have Rory. I know they're pushing an update because GPT-5 just launched. And so it might be a little slow from them pushing that. I know they said they were going to try to push it. And I'm like, well, I have a call. And they're like, we want this live.
So good.
Um, that's another reason why you would want to go with Closebot. I mean, GPT-5 just released a few hours ago, and we're adding it to our providers list. For you guys that maybe have a Closebot account, you'll be able to go into your Anthropic or your OpenAI provider, click on Edit Provider, and there's going to be a toggle here to allow you to try the experimental GPT-5. I want to call out too, like a lot of really powerful people are finding success with this. We have people that are booking over 100 appointments a day, sort of thing. And so when you compare the high level responses to Closebot responses, I dropped an article in the chat. Check that out. There are small differences that we do that make a huge impact on closing rates. If someone's able to book at, like, let's say a 99% accuracy rate with Closebot, even if high level was and I don't know what the percentages are, but if high level was a 90%, booked at a 90% rate, if you're booking 100 appointments a day, you're missing out on 10 appointments every day for your clients. That can be hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, depending on what type of lead you're driving to your client. So accuracy and uptime, reliability, those things matter so much.
One of the things for me when I first looked at the system, and it was in V1, so it was a little bit more simple. But maybe you can show us on a log because that was where it was in V1. The thing here's what made the difference for me. And again, I'm completely a geek, right? So using high level literally takes a conversation, sends it across to OpenAI, gets their response from OpenAI, and brings it back and populates the response. What happens in Closebot is there's literally micro prompts that are happening all the way along before that prompt gets sent out. So the actual converse that's what makes Closebot so much more conversational is the amount of micro prompts and adjustments to the conversation that happen before it goes out and after it comes back to make sure that the context and the delivery is as it should be. So like when I saw every time somebody had a conversation in Closebot, I could see like just lines and lines of prompts and things happening in the background to make sure that the response was accurate. And remember what I said like at the beginning when I said when I tested this, I asked a question in high level chatbot and it just gave me a flat answer. Whereas I gave that same conversation in a Closebot from it. And because of those micro prompts, it gave the answer that was so much better crafted. And that's what Bryce is talking about. The accuracy is just increased because of the amount of work that you guys have done behind the scenes.
Yeah, there and it's we make the interface as simple as possible. Let me bring this screen up again. But there's so much complexity happening behind here.
Hmm.
For example, this is one that I was testing earlier today. This is what came in on the chat widget, and we have objectives to get the person's name, email, and business they work at. We can see it was working on three different pieces of information here. If I click into these logs, I can
This is the
see
bit.
all of the different AI requests that are done on the back end to get all these different pieces of information and ultimately decide what to say and how to
So
say
just
it.
open that, just open one of those up for a second. So check this out, guys. So every single time it's looking at every piece of the conversation and it says, take this response style into account, go down, look at the notes, the task that you have to take into account, and then based on that, formulate the response. Right. So Bryce, I know when you designed and created Closebot, this is the brain that makes Closebot what it is. It's the way that it's interpreting and adjusting the conversation so that the response is the best it can be. So this was a major. And again, like when we look at a generalist versus a specialist, it's like it's easy to go, hey, here's a piece of text, throw it over to an LLM, OpenAI, get them to do their thing and throw their answer back, and I'll give it to you. And it still looks like magic to the average consumer, right? But when you see the detail with the conversation guys, and this is again why I hold these guys in such high regard, is look at the amount of programming work that happens to ensure that your result is as good as it possibly can be. So again, that's just purely from a geek level. You can see the brain working. You can feel the soul of the company in this screen to see exactly how it's working to deliver those better results. Super cool. As Jared said, yeah, this is nuts. So that was one area that I wanted you to chat through. So thank you, dude. You like the personas is a big deal, you guys. And did you see like the micro adjustments that you can make? It's like this persona has a 4% typo rate, and that persona has a 8% typo rate, and this one breaks up large conversations, and this one responds like this. That's what you can do in live time on the Switch, based on all the kind of cool things that we'll show in the workflow builder in just a second. Like the detail here is insane is I guess what I'm saying. So price, it's cheaper once you've got 4 accounts and over, and quality, it's like not even in the same league.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, some of your clients probably have other systems. Because we're not high level, we're going to build in a Calendly booking action, Zoom webinar action. So if you want to conversationally book to Calendly, book to high level calendars, book to Google directly, you'll be able to do that. That's stuff that we are building out that high level is not going to build out because rightfully so, they want everyone in their ecosystem. They're not going to build out a way for you to conversationally book to Calendly.
That's going to be amazing. That'll change again, open up a lot of opportunities for the people on this call who, you go to a client and they say, "Oh yeah, our system's already in place, man. Like we use Calendly, we've got this, we're over in HubSpot, we're doing this or whatever." When you've got the opportunity to still close that deal, you've got more items on your menu that your customer can choose from. So super cool.
Yes.
Um,
We like just another area. I mean, we have web scrapes in here, but we also have, oh, my camera went out. Uh-oh.
it's just
We
too good looking.
have
Broke the system.
other things like I going through their feature requests. I don't know if they have this yet. It's still in their feature requests, but you can't upload like PDFs into the knowledge base for
Mm.
high level, that kind of
Yeah, you
stuff.
have
We allow you to
export.
upload many different types of documents and web scrape, but not only just web scrape, but we will recheck the site every day to see if there are any changes on the site and we'll automatically pull in that live information for you.
Amazing. Super cool. And there's like it just makes more, it makes the bots more intelligent. It makes the AI system respond in a better way. Mark's just asked a really hard question, mate. I'd love to throw that one over to you actually. How do we know the bot is talking to an adult, not a kid? Our sport team coaches can't send DMs to children without also sending to the guardians. He said it's okay to pass on this, but I thought, why not challenge the brain? That's a really interesting question, Mark.
Let me pull it up in the chat. How do I know the bot is talking with an adult and not a kid? Our sports team coaches can't send direct messages to children. So you could have an objective that is determine the age of the person you're chatting with. There are a couple different ways. Let me just,
That's a toughie. The only way you could do it, I'm guessing, mate, is to ask, um, are you over 18 or, whatever that might be. Obviously, somebody can lie. How do we
yeah.
enforce that? That's
Is
tough.
that okay, Mark? If it's asking,
Yeah, it's fine to ask. And I'm going to have their name and ages inside my system
oh,
too.
you will.
Oh, if you've got the name and ages, you're gold.
Yeah. So let me show you how to do that.
Yeah, that's easy. If field X is greater than or less than, just like kill it. Yep.
Yeah, we have branches and switches. A branch is just like a true and false. So we could do this. And then adult, if let's pretend we have that field. Well, I guess we have date of birth.
Right.
Do you have that one, date of birth?
Sure.
So what I'm going to do is use AI to make this decision and just say if I could do this so I don't have to do like math stuff. If I have that saved, I'm using AI to make the decision on whether this should be true or false. And then if they're not over 18, here's where we could use AI to say, sorry,
You couldn't even send that back, I don't think.
no.
Like you'd actually, I don't know, Mark, you could tell us, but you might not even be allowed to
Oh
send
yeah.
that. You might just have to kill the conversation and like stop responding. Um,
And then we could
I
even
don't
just
know, up to
tag
you.
them. Let's modify tags,
D&D.
add the tag under 18, and then stop responding. So no response. And then on this one, we could
Take it down to the next conversation, whatever you wanted to do.
book
Yeah,
them for
beautiful.
the appointment
Beautiful.
and keep chatting.
So, guys, one of the things that I wanted Bryce to show you was this split on the workflow builder. And based on live actions during the call, can route the conversation to different outcomes, right? So, in this example, that's a great one, Mark, actually. If that field is true, go down this path. If it's false, go down that path. So, even that split, that ability to make a judgment instantly, which is how fast AI stuff works, to make a judgment during the conversational flow about which way. Now, guys, you might be thinking, well, I don't have that issue because all my clients, I don't care how old they are, they can come and buy my stuff. Cool. But you might have something else down the path, right? And again, think about live situations. I'm an e-com brand, right? And the client says, I'm looking for shoes. So the split can be, are they looking for shoes or are they looking for hats? Based on the answer to their question, will ask me the next one. What size are you looking for? What color are you after? Do you see what I mean? Like when I'm trying to give you the example here that what you're seeing on the screen is the ability to split the conversation and achieve different objectives based on a fork in the road, right? Super, super cool. And there's a ton more like advanced things that we can do on this. The switch is another one. Just so many incredible things that you can build into a conversational flow that make the outcome better for you and for the clients. Yeah.
It's really endless.
Right.
And we have a couple users who are using N8N to do their stuff. They came over to us because N8N got it right about 70% of the time, but 30% of the time it was supposed to route one way, and it was just two routes, buyer or seller. And it would only get it right like 60% of the time. And it'd think they were a buyer when they were obviously saying they were a seller and routing them to the wrong calendar. And they were just having a nightmare. And this is really the only way to do that kind of stuff.
And again, simple things like, simple. I love that. It's like, hey, that was just simple, man. You put the birthday in there and you let AI decide, is this person over 18? Like, so again, think about what we just talked about with finding all of that summary information about a client. Okay, so we've done the AI system. We've got some detail about the person that they're speaking to, and literally in that field, can make the AI make the judgment. Does this person already own their home, or are they, whatever? Like you can route the decision to interpret the data in that field and make the call. Like, whoa, incredible stuff. And thinking about how does this relate to my client? Because now, again, picking on Rory's client is an inbound coffee machine supplier. Based on the information we've got about the person who's conversing, are they a franchise or are they a single operator? Based on the information that the AI has been able to generate, based on the interpretation of that data, now I can just talk to them differently.
And based on the field that White Label Suite populated, we could use AI when a conversation starts to look at the information pulled in by White Label Suite to route different directions, qualify them differently, depending on what White Label Suite depended is their lead type, or whether they're likely a small, medium, or large business, or any of that stuff. White Label Suite pulls all of that.
So Manolo's asked, can we modify the prompt? So guys, Bryce, I've got a hard stop, so I'm actually going to make you a host, but I've got a hard stop in just a little bit. I know Kyle's on the call, but let's answer a question. So guys, in terms of like our endorsement, there's nobody better on the planet than the man on your screen for handling conversational AI. Closebot is the best there is, and we've looked at tons of them. I can't say we've looked at them all because they're popping up like mushrooms, but Bryce is the king of the castle, right? So let's just answer some questions here. So I might just go face to face with you, bro. Can you modify the prompts? So do you want to just show Manolo where you would jump in and modify the instructions and the prompts for the conversation?
Yeah, we focus on being a low prompt builder. So you have access to all these fields where you can input information, including when you say prompts, the most prevalent area would be in this job information, why the conversation's happening, any important business information. These are really prompts that get injected, as well as the how to respond in the persona. Those are really the three areas that you have access to modify.
You also have the
Other
additional prompts in the conversation section itself. So in the advanced setting, you have additional prompts. So you can say,
Yeah,
you know, in this specific example, just take this additional action. So you can actually add additional prompts during the conversation. It's like, all right, at this point, you need to make a decision, whatever it might be. You can interpret, you can reply, you can summarize, whatever that kind of cool stuff is. So you've
yeah,
got all that. You've got, yeah. So the answer, can you modify the prompts in so many different places that it just makes it better is probably the easiest way. This is a really cool one. So let me just scroll back up a little bit. Mark asked, can the chatbot reside on WordPress as an example?
yeah.
So this is a
Any
big change with V2.
any of high levels communication channels? Yes, we are going to come out with our own chat widget this year too, and our own lightweight CRM. So you can sell this even to clients that don't want to switch to high level. Maybe they don't need a CRM at all and they just need a lightweight solution. This will be a solution for them when we roll that out. But yeah, like you can put the high level chat widget on WordPress sites. So yeah, it chats right through there.
So WordPress embed the chat widget from high level, and now the conversation is actually happening in Closebot. So it's using high level just literally just to embed that chat widget and route the conversation, which is easy to do. A couple of other questions there, man. This is great, you guys. So Nigel says he's created a lot of AI personas for some bots some time ago. And he's looking for a vehicle. So I'm assuming, so he said, I've used tone, response style, learning criteria, and tasks. So Closebot version 2 looks perfect for this. Can the personas learn from past conversations?
No, and we do that for a reason. There are all these marketing gimmick things out there. And when you allow the AI to learn from AI responses, it ends up degrading over time. So any system that's claiming self-learning on AI responses is getting worse over time. We are rolling out with some features that are going to allow it to pinpoint gaps in its knowledge. So pinpoint when it doesn't know answers to questions and allow you to come in and fill in those missing gaps. Those are the kind of things we'll roll out to allow you to make it continue to learn, but it'll be based on your feedback.
Perfect. I love that. It's like, um, I actually love your answer there. Based on previous conversations, the bot's ability to respond is going to degrade because it gets like it's like dripping food dye into water, right? The more drips you're putting in there, the more the actual color of the water is changing. So that's a really great thought that if we allowed that to happen, it's going to degrade. But one of the cool things, of course, is that in any contact card, so here's a contact on high level, it's had a conversation with my AI chatbot. You're actually, you've got the previous conversations saved there so that when that person re-engages, the conversation that was had with that specific person before is known by the AI.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It can see the whole conversation thread with a contact and jump right in.
Amazing. Super cool. So, guys, so let's just scroll up again. I do apologize for the hard stop, but we've got a couple of
I
minutes here.
see better than lead indicator. I've never heard of it, lead indicator. So
There's a million. There's a million people
there's
with
that.
chatbots launching every day. You guys just look at the stats and the support and the backup.
A
Jared,
lot of them are
I'm
probably
trying to.
white labeling other solutions.
Oh yeah, maybe that's true too.
So maybe
So and
that's why I
actually
haven't heard of it.
that relates to Jared's question. So Jared actually picked up Closebot through one of your power resellers, which is Jeff and Charles, who are amazing at bot launch. Is there any difference between going direct and going through one of the resellers out there?
Yeah, this V2 is not meant, it's not made to be sold agency to other agencies. So if you're on bot launch or another white label, that's V1 of Closebot. That's not V2. So if you want this brand new V2 where all of our energy has gone over the past 2 years, um, you'll need to sign up direct, and they'll have an affiliate link for you.
Yeah.
Or I mean, really use Walt's share link that he shared, and that'll get you started too.
So, and guys, we've got whitelabelsuite.com/closebot if you wanted to sign up through Closebot. And of course, that means we can give you all of our workflows and whatever else that's out there. Again, I think there's,
Oh, there was a good question. Any pre-built stuff for
oh
different
yeah.
industries? Yeah. Let me do this again. So you can choose from template. We have some templates there for you. You can also do it from a prompt. So say you were coming over from a system that was just a big prompt that you dump into the AI and you want to convert it to Closebot, you can just do this and then just paste it in there. We even give you examples. So if you wanted to come here and get started, but you're like, I don't even know where to get started, we give you like a simple example, standard, complex, so you know kind of what it can handle.
That is
And
amazing.
I haven't done this in a while, so let me just do the complex one.
Right.
It
Super
said it
cool.
can take up to 5 minutes. So when I called it tests just like my other one. So I think this was the old one. Yeah. Nice.
I learned Closebot from those templates. So for me, I dropped in the real estate one and I went, okay, cool. And now I can get it. And it took like 2 seconds. So having those templates is amazing. Guys, we'll have to wrap, unfortunately, real fast. But again, our support of Closebot is infinite. These guys are incredible at what they do. Whitelabelsuite.com/closebot. Kyle, I've just asked if you can jump in as host because I know there's maybe some more questions. Like if you guys have got questions for Bryce, I apologize. My beautiful teenage daughter is standing at my door, and it's a big day for her as she goes and gets her driving license. So cannot miss that appointment. Otherwise, she will kill me because she's been waiting for it for years. So I'm going to jump and make sure that I honor the family side things there. But let's make sure that we have everything that we need. So Bryce is here. He's going to be able to stick around and answer some questions. Let me drop in that link. Thanks, John. Amazing to talk to your team yesterday as well, John. So guys, this conversational AI system working hand in hand with White Label Suite and that leads research now into conversation. It is a mind-blowing thing when your clients are seeing it. That video that I showed on your team call yesterday, John, with the conversational AI, the contact aware conversation, that's Closebot. That's what made that happen. So very cool. Kyle, are you in the room? You're all good? Just make sure Kyle's got
I'm in the room.
All right, bro. So guys, the call's going to continue. Bryce is here. Bryce, I love you so much, man. You are amazing, and the team with you there
too,
at
Walt.
Closebot are world class. Like the support, the content that you guys are putting out. I literally have you on a pedestal. You guys are amazing. The tech that you've built literally is helping people make money and changing lives as it goes. One of our friends, as you know, just booked over $1 million worth of sales using Closebot to run his appointments. Guys, it's the real deal. So yes, there are other options out there, but if you want the best, Closebot is it. So I'm going to jump. Wish me luck with my daughter's driving test. Thanks, man. Great to see you. Please say hi to Laura. Kyle is still in the room, so the call's not ending. The recording will be out onto our YouTube channel, of course. I'm gone. You don't have to be. Stick around and learn from the genius that is Bryce DeCora. And dude, I will catch you soon. All right.
Bye, buddy.